Hello guys, welcome back again to another amazing episode, and as you guys already know, this is the diaspora transition episode. We interview diaspora who decided to leave the West behind, either being the US, Canada, UK and other places, and relocating to the continent. And today we do have someone very special here. She relocated from Canada with her family, kids and husband, and it's like, listen, I'm leaving Canada behind. I'm like, what? So she's here to have a good conversation with me, to ask her why she decided to do that. So without further ado, Jessie, welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we met at a conference.
Yes. Was it the conference?
Yeah.
No, it was the inauguration. Of the Zola Cafe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I heard so many amazing things about your journey, yourself, and what you're doing here in Gambia.
Yeah.
People are watching you for the first time. They don't know who you are. Can you briefly introduce yourself to the people watching?
Sure. My name is Jessie. I was born in Montreal. My parents are from Haiti, the Caribbean. So I've never been outside of, I was in Canada. I went to the US, but that was about it. I never went, to, I'm going to say black countries. And so Gambia was the first really African country that I came in. So Quebec is a francophone country, so I'm bilingual. And I'll explain why that matters later. And I went to Toronto. So, I've explored a little bit, but I didn't came out of the West. So anyway, I had my family there. I have two young children, 6 and 5 years old. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a business that we rolled out to the continent. So we expanded our business, let's put it that way. So we're entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's nice. We would dive into what you do here.
For sure.
Because it's amazing what you do. And like you saying that you never went out of the West. I know a lot of people can relate to that. Yeah. Why was that the case?
Well, first of all, I always wanted, and that you need to know, I'm not one of those people who I was ashamed of my background. No. Like I always wanted to go back to Haiti, first of all. But for some reason, my parents' generation, they were under a dictatorship. So they left the dictatorship to Canada. So they have that very bad impression of our country, So they never wanted me to go back. They could go. From time to time, they have stuff to do. When someone is sick, they have to go. But, for the children had to stay behind, and that really bothered me. I felt incomplete. I felt, and the more that I've learned about the Haitian revolution and everything, the baggage that we have, I was like, why are you doing this to me, Mama? I need to go. I need to reconnect with that. So it was a long time dream of mine to go back to Haiti and then eventually to go back to Africa. But really at that point, it was just to visit Africa. I never thought I would basically just be sitting in Africa and
live your life.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
Wow. Did you have any pushback from friends and family?
Oh, more than pushback. Until today, we're considered crazy.
Really? For moving to Africa?
What? Every time they're like, when are you coming back? We're like, guys,
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah. I think because of, I'm not going to blab again. Everybody said the same thing. The media and the information that we have from Africa, from a young age, is not positive. Yeah. Every day, it's the hungry type of messages, flies. So there's nothing new there. And then my two only encounters was the Kunta Kinteh movies, again, slavery, sad stuff all the time. And then Shaka Zulu, that was the only big movie about why.
That was the image you have in your mind?
Yeah, that's the image. Well, what else would I see? We didn't have, at that point, like I'm 41, so back then there was no Google to just look it up, There was nothing like that. So we rely heavily on the television.
Depending on the television and what they show you on TV.
And what is shown us on TV. So, but even then, I was like, nope, this is, something's not right. I need to figure it out. I grew up thinking like that. But there's this, and I'm not going to lie, within the Caribbean community as well, there's this thing of, we were sold out. Yeah, that is very prevalent. So why you want to go there? People sold us. Yes, but, and now I'm seeing it even more we experienced that, but you lost family that was sold, right? It's not just you just sold your brother. You know, your brother was kidnapped
Yes,
too,
yes,
right?
yes,
And
yes.
then you are on the continent. There's a history of, anyway, you know, the politics and everything that's going on. You are experiencing a trauma as well on the continent, but we don't, you know, sometimes they don't keep that in mind. So anyway, so yeah, that's why it was. We have a lot of pushback, but it's really the mentality, and I think they assume there's nothing in Africa, that everybody's starving, that it's. So we're showing a different narrative, and when I saw Wodemaya, it really, you know, showing Africa in a positive light. I was glued. I was just watching Wodemaya shows, and then what really hit me in the heart. So I think it's a crescendo effect, obviously, of many things that happen in my life, but it was the video with Juliet
Juliet in
in the Gambia.
Gambia. Okay.
I know there's so much, but I don't care about none of that.
Yeah.
For me, I look at things more on a macro perspective, and on a macro positive perspective, it was truly inspirational speech. It just
Is it the one that is the UK is a dump? Is that?
oh my God! She was yelling, and I just shook where I was in my room, and it was COVID. You know, I'm like, you know what? I think it's time. I never knew about Gambia, although we look at I saw the Kunta Kinteh, you know, productions, but I didn't know really nothing. So anyway, so that was my exposure, like real-time exposure of Africa, not just pictures, not the real people talking about real situation.
I like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, bro. What am I?
No.
Yeah. So what am I made you come to Africa?
He was the last the catalyzer, we'll say. Yeah, he was the booster.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
he
like
was the
that.
booster, definitely.
Wow. Now you've made it to the continent.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Gambia specifically?
I wanted to go to Ghana.
Ghana, really?
Yeah, I wanted to be, obviously, because of everything I was watching.
Yeah.
He showed, you know, Ghana on a positive light. Also because of the year of return, and I have to give a lot of respect to His Excellency Nana
Adodankwa.
Yes,
Akufo-Addo.
Akufo-Addo. For that, for us, I thought we were just waiting for an invitation. That's how I felt. I felt like, wow, finally, okay, let's pack up, let's go.
Yeah.
So, you know, head of state is inviting us to come back. So for me, it was again very inspirational. I felt like, okay, maybe something's happening on the continent that it's a good time for us to go. And yeah.
Yeah. So the first day you arrived on the continent,
Yeah.
you came out of the airport,
Yeah.
the plane.
Yeah.
Tell me, walk me through that feeling.
So I have to say, when I left first, when I left the ground, we left Montreal, I was looking, I'm like, woo! I was just happy to go, but then the very next second, an anxiety took over me.
Really?
Yeah, I was so, all this programming came to my mind. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Are we going to die? Is it poverty? Like everything, you know, it just came to mind. And then obviously I washed it away. But I was very anxious, I was excited, but I was afraid because we didn't know exactly how we were going to maneuver away on the continent. And we're not rich, so, you know, our funds were limited. Yeah, so all that, and we were leaving with 2 young children. So how are we going to function? Where are they going to go to school? You know, so all of that. And then all the people that we left behind that was so angry, we did not receive any support. I'm sorry, no. I have a good friend of mine who was she's always my trooper. But that was it, you know, the people, we did not receive support. They were upset that we left. And we left pretty quickly too. We planned within 2 months and we were out of there. So, so yeah. So then when we landed, it's been 3 years ago, so hold on. It was at night, so I couldn't see much. I was just happy we were there. You know, it was long. It was like a 12-hour journey. But I was just happy. And since then, I feel a sense of peace, a deep sense of peace that I haven't felt before.
Really?
Very deep.
What made you feel that? What was it that was so different that made you felt like that?
I feel like I guess maybe it's a more spiritual. I just felt like I was home. I felt like I brought, my ancestors with me, and we felt at peace. Maybe it was, I don't know what it was, but it was just my husband more at first than me. For me, it took a little longer until the kids were settled, but I just felt a sense of freedom that I haven't felt in a long time.
Wow. Now, let's just go back a little bit. Back growing up in Canada, by first generation?
First generation.
Okay.
From my mother's side, yeah.
So your mom came from Haiti to Canada?
Yeah.
Right. Growing up, how was it like?
Quite frankly, I'm not gonna lie. I still have a deep connection with Montreal. Montreal is a place, it's a non-conceded land, so it still belongs to the native, and it shows. Sometimes they come out, and anyway, so there's an energy there that is very different. I enjoy the Quebec culture, meaning that they're very entrepreneur people, right? They push entrepreneurial, they push creativity a lot. It's pushed in every level through the school. That's why it's the head of AI. I'm not surprised because that's my generation, by the way. Those are the people I went to school. I'm here, but they're doing AI over there. And that's the creativity. The education is free up until college, not college, we call it college. It's anyway, up until
university?
You become something. No, not university. University is not free. Right before university, but still, you manage to have something. No, so that's the thing. There's an in between.
Oh, really?
That you can do, and that you can decide like a technical type of training, where afterwards you qualify to work, to be entrepreneur, to do something, and then you can do university to have the deeper understanding of life, of things, of the subject. So that's what I like about that. So people are very very creative. There's a lot of activities, a lot of things to do. So I'm not gonna say, oh, they're all bad. I cannot say that. And I will always have like a back and forth because that's where I'm from. That's where I grew up. And I will not reject it completely, right? It's a place where I was able to experience different culture. Right, I was, there's a Chinatown, there's different culture. I was able to speak with fellow Africans, fellow Mexicans, fellow this. So it's a melting pot, which I enjoyed. Right, so there's a lot of things. Now, the bad things, of course. Of course, it comes back again to racism. And I'm not gonna go deep into it because I don't like to focus too much on that. But I'm going to circle back to Africa because if Africa is strong, the diaspora will not experience what we experience over there. So again, I look at things on a macro perspective. I need to figure out how I can empower and give my little whatever I can do, right, to help Africa rise. Because if Africa is strong, the diaspora is strong.
True.
If you cannot, just say anything to an African in Africa, you won't be able to say anything to an African over there. You know what I mean? So, I know I know your channel is about leaving there and come here, but I'm more about building bridges. We need bridges. We have experiences, we have lived there for many generations. We have a baggage that combined with your baggage here, it's just so powerful, powerful beyond measure. So that's my message, come and create options in Africa, right? Come and strengthen Africa. That's our mother. And I think as well, Africa is not for everybody.
Really?
I'm going to say flat out.
Africa is not for everybody?
No, it's not for any black people, no. Not at this moment. I think at this moment, if you don't come with a humble attitude, if you don't come to learn from our fellow brothers and sisters. If you don't come to build and you just come to take, like a colonizer, don't come. Don't come.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
You've been here for 3 years.
Yes.
Let's talk about the living situation with children. Now, mind you, if it's just alone, it's different. Now, moving to Gambia with 2 children.
Yeah.
And then family. How is it like?
To be honest, I did not expect the warmth of the African people with children. I did not expect that. Very tolerant. So when you mentioned about how was it in the airport, right away we skipped all the lines. We never wait in the airport. We never wait. It's, oh, children, come here. Oh, baby, come here. There's this particular attention towards kids that was very warm to us. So that's that. Now, education-wise, though, there's certain things that it's either you have, the top dollars to put your kids, to top dollar school, or you have the education that is public, right? And sometimes it's not easy, but COVID made education available now to all.
How?
Because a lot of schools now are online. And that's the main reason why we decided to leave. If I need to work at home, if I need to teach my kids at home, I might as well do it on the beach, right? All I need is a connection. So that's what we do. We have online schooling for our children. There's many activities for kids here to mingle with other children. There's many diaspora and locals as well that we get. So, I mean...
What changes have you seen in your kids' life compared to living in Montreal, Quebec, and then coming back to Gambia on the smiling coast of Africa? Did you see any changes in your children's life and behavior? Yeah,
100%. Well, mind you, they were very young, right? They left at 2 and the other one was 4. So in the beginning, they had an issue with the power cutting off. They do. They're upset. Power went off. So, it's something that we had to solve. But outside of that, they enjoy the life. They enjoy the beach. They enjoy the weather. They enjoy just going out and doing whatever. Over there, our life was so... We had to work all the time. Yeah, fast-paced, that we didn't have the time. So we just left our kids in the daycare, And then I was faced with another child that I did not know, actually.
How?
Because there's certain little habits that I realized that it went under the radar because the kids was full-time in daycare, right? So there's a few things that I had to adjust quickly that I realized, wow, we have no idea when we leave our kids somewhere full-time what it does. They raise your children, right? So I feel empowered that I took education back in my own hands. Is it easy? No. To have kids all the time with you, and now the gender roles have been reestablished, right? Because over there, both of us has to work to make a living. Now, if my husband works, I have to stay with the kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? I have to do the house chores, I have to do this, I have to do that. So I was like, wow, being a woman is complicated. Yeah, so we adjusted. But my husband is a great husband as well, so he, helps a lot. So there's a lot of adjustment there. But for the children, it's a blessing. They just miss the family. They miss grandma, miss, you know what I mean? They miss uncle, our family members.
Oh, are you inviting them to come?
All the time. The other day I had an argument with my mom.
Oh, what happened?
Well, argument. She was arguing by herself, really. I just said, yes, mama. Because I want her to come. My mother is 80 years old.
80?
80. She's still strong. But I'm like, Mom, you work all your life. Here, I can take care of you. To pay someone to take care of you here is much cheaper than over there. Why don't you come here? She's so afraid. She finds all kinds of reasons. If I die, you have to ship my body. If this and that. I'm like, oh.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, but the children are here. We've been here for many for almost 3 years now. We're good. Everything is. You see us. We're not starving. We're okay. But still, it's very difficult for her to wrap her head around.
Because of the programming she's been.
I don't know what it is. At this point, I think it's just a habit. You know, her daily habits. She does this every day. My mom is a very disciplined person. So if she's done something for 40 years, she's gonna continue doing it until she dies. You know. So yeah. I
see. But you know, what message do you have for? Because what you've done for you and your family is amazing. I know people who always in the comment section, they're like, I want to move to the continent, but I can't. I don't know how. You know,
I'm gonna circle back to what I said earlier. I don't think Africa is for everybody. I feel like Africa calls you to come, and that's the spiritual side. Africa calls you to come. You did not notice every person you interview? I don't know something. I felt something. I had a dream of something. All of us is like that. It's when I got here, I was shocked that we all had the same story. Oh, I had a dream and I was told by that day I had to leave. And then since then, I've been planning. We all have the same story. So if your mama don't tell you, sorry.
That means you're not.
No, but because we move differently. If I wake up tomorrow, let's say we have this interview today. If I woke up and something in me told me not to leave the house, I would not leave the house. You see what I mean? And that kind of mentality, that's what have saved us from many, many problems on the continent. Because we don't know, right? We don't know. So if you don't have that inner, if you did not cultivate it, that inner spiritual discussion, I would say. Some people say ancestors, some people say with God, some people say whatever it is that helps you move in your life, you have to become more intuitive. To be able
you have to obey.
And you have to obey. You have to obey. If you don't obey,
Now, like that. Now, let's talk about what you're doing here, because tell me about it. What have you been able to?
You know, I feel like I was planned. Life prepared me to be on the continent. So I always had a desire to be in real estate. I've been in real estate in Canada. I was on the mortgage side, so the financial side. I had an agency that I converted when I came here. First, we wanted to understand, you know, how it worked, but we're really into real estate and development. That's one side. Actually, more my husband's side. For me, I'm all about the spirituality, meditation. I'm Haitian, and my Haitian background kind of like, I'm going to say activated when I came to the continent.
Really? In what way?
So, that's a very long story, but I'm going to try to make it short.
We love long stories here.
Okay, so as Haitian, and I know Wodemaya went back to Haiti. As Haitian,
he did?
He did! Okay. I'm telling you, all day. All day. Anyway, in Haiti, what we were able to accomplish in this tiny island is the conservation of many different nations. We call it the 21 nations. So our spirituality, we have different spaces that we call laku, like a communal shrines, that elevate and remember the ancestors of 21 African nations and Native American. So as a Haitian, I have Igbo in me, I have Yoruba in me, I have Akan in me, I have Ewe in me, I have Congo in me, I have Mandinga, right? So we acknowledge and we know we have all of that. And depending on where we are, the spirits of the place will come and help us. That's what happened to me in Congo. That's actually, I found that here. Not even over there, I found that on the continent. So for me, it's really important to meditate and have develop an inner communication with our ancestors, our family. I'm going to say our family. So that's what I do. I do meditate, and it's online. I've started it over there, but then it trickled back here. We do meditation, we do healing sessions, and I feel like if we want to evolve, we have to love ourselves first. I don't feel there's any unity that can be done if we don't love ourselves first, then we'll love our brother, and then we'll be able to unite. But if I don't love myself, I don't love my hair, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like my family, I don't like my ancestors, I don't like the color of my skin, how am I going to unite me with my fellow brother? So yeah, so that's what we do.
I like that. Now, how do people find this? Is it online? It's online, right?
Yeah, it's online. So I can send you. Yeah, we haven't created a temple here yet, but yes, it's online. I can send you the links and all that.
Okay.
Actually, there's an event coming up next week for grounding, for calling back powers, calling back our energies, because as Afro descendants, the witchery that was done to our ancestors until today, using the energy of our ancestors to build corporations.
Let's talk a little bit about that. How did they use our African spirituality to build corporations?
Wicked. No, that's a different story. But that's a whole different story. But yes, they use us.
Wow.
To empower their system, and I'm not gonna go into who we're just gonna leave it at they, to empower, because we have a lot of energy. Do you realize how much spiritual? We are very spiritual people. If we decide that this person is gonna go through this, is gonna accomplish this, if we all decide yes, it happens. It's a wrap. They know that. So that's why they have to diverse our energy towards. Right?
Something
a goal.
different.
So now, how about I use my own energy, my ancestors' energy, to accomplish.
So you're trying to say we've been distracted?
Oh, for sure. 100%. So I'm just going to stick with the Haitian, for example. I'm not going to go into Africa because it's a sensitive subject. So many people have eyes on Africa right now, yeah? The whole world is watching Africa. What is Africa saying? What does Africa has to say? Anyway, so I'm just going to stick with Haiti. Look at the state of Haiti right now. Total chaos. Total chaos. But anyway, so again, in the Haitian spirituality, we have Ogun for the Yoruba. So actually, we have three main spirits that helped us for the revolution. The Queen of Congo, Dambala from the Dahomey, and the Oguns from the Yoruba. So how they manage to flip it, they say, okay, you want to pray Ogun. But when you say Ogun, think of St. Patrick. So you're praying to Ogun, but then you look at St. Patrick, a Caucasian dude on a horse. Where do you think your energy goes? You see what I mean? Little things like, now you can apply that in so many different religions, so many different things. Yeah,
I see.
Right?
I see.
They put something in front of you. Okay, we want you to adopt this mentality. If we adopt it, it's a wrap. That's why we're upset. Many people are upset when Africans don't agree with certain things because they won't go. You see what I mean?
Now, Africa, it's time to disagree with everybody.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, I would love to speak with your husband about more of the real estate and what you guys are doing here.
Yeah.
But if you do have, a message for people watching you, either being from Haiti, either being from Canada, family and friends, what would that message be?
Don't close your eyes on Africa. I understand that we have our experience. We have been there for a long time, but Africa really is our home. Our ancestors are from here. Or even we have ancestors from both places, because as a Haitian, we have ancestors here and we have ancestors from the West as well. We have dual background. Let's put it that way. We have dual background. We have background over there, background here, and we need to keep our options open. We cannot just close a part of us and pretend that it doesn't exist, or pretending that it's all bad, or just pretend. But at the end of the day, all excuses, because you're not European. No matter how light you try to put your skin, no matter how light you want to put your hair, your background is you're native to the motherland. That's just the end of the story. And now is a great time to do it. Many diaspora are coming, so there's a momentum. Take use of the momentum. Utilize us, the ones that we came here. It's not just for us, it's for you guys as well, right? Who you don't know, ask questions. How is it? look at our journey. So many people, I don't do it, unfortunately. I don't want to be on YouTube. But you see people like you sometimes, you know, oh, go talk to him and tell your story. I would say yes, gladly. But people can call us to have information. How is it? What's the experience? Right? How much this and this costs? There's so many things that people need to learn, not to come back here and just be upset and leave. Yeah.
I like that. How do people reach out to you?
Well, I'll leave my details down the video, and they'll be able to contact us.
I like that.
Yeah.
If you're given the chance, right? You've experienced Gambia. You've seen the upsides, the downsides. You know, is Gambia the only African country?
No, I went to Senegal. We went to Congo. I was in Congo for 1.5 years. Actually, we spent more time in Congo than Gambia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you recently just moved to Gambia?
We recently came back to Gambia.
Okay.
We came here in January 2001. Then towards the end of 2001, we went to Congo. Then we spent a little time in Senegal, but it's right next to Gambia, so we'll have plenty of time to explore there. But we went to Congo because it's so far.
Yeah.
And I know from my family that I have a connection with the Congo. So yeah, we went there. We have land there. We're doing agriculture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, if you've experienced it, you've seen the downside and upside. If you're given a chance to like really change something, what would that be?
Change my experience or change something in the country?
Something within the continent.
Oh, there's many things.
Just one. Pick one.
Self-love.
Self-love.
Yes. If there's one thing I wish my fellow African would just embrace is love themselves, love their continent. Yeah, just self-love. I've seen too many kids. There's this young guy who did our furniture. I heard that maybe 2 weeks after, he took a boat to Morocco. Disappeared. For a better life? For what? You see what I mean? This is what I mean by self-love. You don't have to die because you don't know what's waiting for you over there. Right? So that would be the main thing. Love the blackness, love everything about it. Even if it's ugly, love it still. That's the only way you can look at your brother and say, brother, I love you. You see what I mean? And then we can move on to build our communities. So that way, nobody can just come in your house and tell you how to behave in your own house.
You left all this coast, beauty, and went to Morocco, you say?
For a better life.
Well,
I was trying to go to Europe.
Why do you think we Africans living on the continent don't really see what we have?
Because, you're going to get me into trouble now.
No.
Because it's made for you that way. If I did not have the option, just the option, I think I would have tried to do the same thing. Because the way that everything is, you don't control nothing. And it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot to make a beauty. Look at this place. It doesn't take a lot to make Africa beautiful and just enjoyable. It doesn't take a lot at all. But somehow, some way, there are people out there that do not want you to just live in your own house and make rules that are not good for you, really. So it's hard. It's just hard to live. For why? I don't understand. So for me, it's outrageous, to be honest. So that's why I say it's not for everybody, because people, Americans, we would come here and be outraged and express our outrage way too loud. And things are not going to change overnight like that, right? It needs time, but I think it would start with self-love.
Do you think we are patient, as in the diaspora coming back to the continent?
Do
you think we are patient?
Do you have patience? I just feel like, so I was, I guess, under the impression that some African would be waiting for me at the gate of the airport. Welcome back, my brother. It doesn't work like that.
I mean, Ghana, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Ghana. No, because the president said, yo, listen, guys, we're going to accept these people. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. The president made it, maybe, I don't know if he signed it into law. I don't know what he did, but it's something, right? If nobody's waiting for you, what do you expect? They're going to treat you like a stranger coming to his home. And on top of that, you're loud. And on top of that, you're requesting things. And on top, You see what I mean? So you have to come and chill a little bit and look, you know, at the situation and yeah. So I think we need to change our mindset.
I like that.
Yeah, about certain things.
That.
Nobody's waiting for you.
I like that. Well, use one word to describe your experience living on the continent.
One word. I don't have one word.
Really?
I don't have no. I cannot say one. I have to say 2 words.
2 words.
Because the balance.
2 words.
Peace.
Peace and what? Tranquility?
No, because it has to be on the flip side.
Yeah.
There's peace, but then there's hardship. It's not easy. And I know people make videos, they make it all pretty. It's not easy. It's not. You have to make your way. You have to see certain things that you don't agree with. You have to be a little street smart, right? For example, quick example. If you take a taxi and the taxi asks you, oh, where do you come from? What do you do? You cannot just answer all the questions. He's not asking you because he's nice. He might ask you because he wants to rob you. You see what I mean? So these are the things we need to, that we had to learn that, or if this bottle of water normally is $25, but for you, diaspora, it's 200, and he's not gonna sell it a penny less. So yeah, those are the things that in the beginning but you get the hang of it. You get, you know.
I see.
Yeah, you get screwed up once, twice, and then finish. You understand the game.
Yeah, give 3 business advice for people.
Patience. Patience. Because I see a lot of people coming, they expect the fast. I tell you, do this, or you don't know how to do this next. No, you have to take time, training, understand you have a different background, different culture. You have to understand the other person's culture. What are their motivations? No, maybe sometimes it's not just money. What is the what motivates that person? So, you know, patience. Patience to learn and then invest. You just don't come and
just invest straight up.
Because then people are just gonna wait and take all that money from you, and then you'll be homeless, and people will just look at you, laugh at you in the streets.
Wow.
They won't have no patience for you. You come with all that money and this is what you do.
I like that. Thank you so much for talking to me.
One thing I forgot to add.
Sure, go ahead.
At the end of this year, we're actually organizing a tour to the Gambia, from Canada to the Gambia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it's going to be
month?
3 weeks.
End of the year?
November.
November.
The last 3 weeks of November, I'll send the information.
Okay.
So people from Canada, but maybe the US because it's close by. And it's going to be twofold. So spiritual, if people want to reconnect with Mama Earth and all of that in Africa. And business-wise, if you just want to see what kind of real estate that is available here, etc. So, but the places are limited because of the buses and all that. We'll be touring, sightseeing, the Kunta Kinteh Island. Yeah, if we can, we'll try to include Senegal. But Senegal now has a little rioting going on.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about the Senegal anymore. But if it quiets down, maybe we'll go there. So
wow.
Yeah, so that definitely I'll leave the link below.
Sure.
So they can register quickly because it goes fast.
All right, guys, I'm going to leave every information on the screen and also in the description. You know, contact her, check it out. You want to come to the Gambia, as I said, listen, I want to buy land in this country because I feel like Gambia is heading towards Ghana, where Ghana is in terms of infrastructure, real estate. And in Ghana now, you can buy a property for $400,000, $500,000. You know, in the prime locations now, and listen, it's not going down, it's going up. And I see Gambia coming there. You want to come down here for investment, real estate, even just to, you know, follow your spirituality. I feel like she is the best person to contact. If it's your first time here, please don't forget to like the video, share to friends and family, and subscribe. And yeah, do you have anything to say?
No, that's it. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. So I spoke to Jessie, your wife. She spoke to me about her journey from Canada, moving back with her kids, and you being her husband. She shared her experience, and I want to have you here to also, you know, touch on your experience as well. Yeah. And at one point she said, like, you were the one who, like, listen, we are done here in Canada, let's just go back home. And people are watching you. Can you introduce yourself briefly, and then we can jump into that.
My name is Origenally. I'm Haitian. I was born in Haiti. I've lived in Montreal in Canada for long. I've studied there. To make it simple, I'm an entrepreneur. So I was in the car business before we left. So we were living in Montreal, and I think it's simple. To make it simple, I'm an entrepreneur, a fighter, a passionate person, and the father of beautiful kids with Jessie.
I like that. Now, why did you decide to leave Canada behind though?
We left, now we're in 2023. It's almost 3 years that we left. It doesn't start 3 years ago. It started 13 years ago, because the first time I went back to my own country, Haiti, in 2012, just after the earthquake. It was a terrible earthquake for those who have heard of it. And when I went back, instead of seeing my country have something that is destructed, destroyed, that you would say, oh wow, it's chaos, but it was the contrary. I was amazed and I was embracing back my culture. It's not like we detached from the culture, because in Montreal we're around hundreds of thousands of Haitians. But during that trip in 2012, living, because when you live in Canada, there's a lot of cultures, but it's predominantly white people. But when you live back within your culture, with your people, before I left, we made 2 weeks that year. We had several trips after that, but during those 2 weeks, I promised to myself that within 15 years from now, it's funny, I didn't know I would do it, but I promised to myself within 15 years from now, I have to leave Canada and go back to either Haiti or Africa. I was already open because I had many African friends, so for me we were just the same. So from that moment, I knew that the feeling that I have living in Haiti, even if it was only weeks, that there's no racism. I mean, yeah, there's other issues, but I felt so good with my people. I'm like, no. At that moment, I realized, no, I had a lot of frustration in Montreal, and I didn't realize everything until I felt very good, well, and within my family and my culture. So from that moment, I promised to myself, and the real move was in 3 years ago, let's say we're 2023, 2020, basically. Why we moved? We moved because I'm a fighter. So if you break my freedom, I cannot bow. I have to fight, and my way of fighting was to go elsewhere, to go where I think I belong more, where other people look like me. Not physically, because physical doesn't matter, but like the culture look like mine. Exactly. So it was not hard to do. I mean, Haiti was in war at that moment when we moved, and it's still at war. We're 2023, it's still at war at the moment. So I simply look at other brothers. You know, if you can go to uncle, you go to auntie. You can go to your father, you go to your uncle. It was a simple move.
That's why you chose Gambia.
We chose Gambia. It's part of it, yes, but you know, when your first option is to go back to your country, like you're from Ghana. If you were in Canada, your first option maybe, I would assume, would be like, oh, maybe I go back to my village or to my city. And Gambia is a peaceful one. From what I've seen on the videos, from other people talking about it, from numbers, like stats about a lot of countries, Gambia is very peaceful. And when I was listening to a lot of YouTubers, I felt that at this country, I could find my community, people who think like me. And this is what I've found in Gambia.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, living here, she shared a little bit about how it is. How's the experience living here in the Gambia like?
In Gambia, you know, we've been living in Gambia, and we also lived in Congo. Mm-hmm. And so I would say, before just saying Gambia, Africa is not for everybody. Even if you say, oh, I'm proud to be black and everything, you need to be more than proud. You need to be more than, oh, I want to go back to my roots. I mean, you need to really want it. That means you need to want it with all the imperfections. You see? For me, going back to Gambia, going back to Africa is the best times of my life. As simple as it is, nothing more, nothing less. I would not say better than my country because it's the same thing. I felt the same way I felt very good in Haiti, I feel very good here. I've been to my country many times. And if you want to go back and you just want to do it just because you think, oh, it's something you haven't done, it's not really sincere and profound, you don't have respect for the people, it's gonna be a lot of hardship, a lot of obstacles, you know?
Send one more advice to people who want to come here to the Gambia.
Coming, Gambia, to make it simple, because if you're coming from Canada, from US or Europe, where there's a lot of aggressivity, for real, either you have money or not, there's a lot of aggressivity, a lot of obstacles. There will be obstacles in Gambia, but there's less aggressivity. That's my after almost 3 years, that's the way I would describe Gambia. So don't expect it until you see it. That's what I would say. An advice I would say is understand it's totally different. So the biggest asset you have will not be your money, your currency, your exchange rate. It will be your ability to overcome your inner self, to overcome your fears, to adapt, because it's totally different people who have lived different things, different mindset. So adapt to the fact that the system is slow, the procedures are slow. People think differently. So don't expect them to change. Make your beautiful world, make your paradise, while accepting that no, they're not dealing with things the same way you do. But I can promise one thing: if you're able to manage your emotions and be mature enough, you can make your paradise in Gambia.
I like it. Now, talking about contributing to the continent, you did by real estate.
Yes.
And then, why did specifically real estate?
It was an easy, logical move because before we left Canada, I used to be for a long time in the car business, but also we had a mortgage brokerage firm, me and my wife, in Montreal. So we were making the mortgages, the financing for the people who want to purchase homes. So when we came here, we were not expecting to just continue the same thing. So since I was already in business, for me, I was open. I was not looking for a job, and I was open to see what would be the best business. At first, we thought of real estate, and then when we came here, after a couple of months, we realized, yes, this is the thing to do. Because, you know, sad to say, but a lot of countries in Africa, not only Gambia, a lot of countries in Africa or the Caribbean, lack of good paying jobs, you know? So we focused on the real estate during the 2 last years, at least on the African real estate, to facilitate people to get their lands, get their houses and everything, or simply to relocate, because once they've purchased the land, they will want to visit, to touch the ground, to connect back to motherland and everything. So, you know, when you taste something good, you want to share it with others. When you're eating something good, Africa, living there, you want your brother and sister to experience it. You want to share. So that's our way to share, to connect them with the real estate or to help them travel back to Africa, you know?
I like that.
Exactly.
If you do have a final message to the people who watch, what would that message be?
A final message to the people, okay. First of all, I would say we open doors to people from around the world. If they want to come to visit at the end of the year, Gambia and Senegal, because we're offering a group trip for those who want to visit the country for the first time. So far, we already have done in Congo. We have like a 50 hectares project. We've sold already more than 10 hectares of land for agricultural purpose. It's a self-sufficient community that we're building there. Even though we're currently in Gambia, we still manage that also. But at the end of the year, we're opening the doors for that group trip so that people can come in Gambia and Senegal at the same time, 3 weeks up to 4 weeks depending. But we're opening this door to facilitate the people to get their first experience in the continent, okay? So as a final message, I would say is this life, this planet, if you're not satisfied somewhere, there's nothing that forces you to stay if you're not satisfied. Otherwise, you adapt where you are or you go elsewhere. And wherever you are, there's a way to make it beautiful. For me, I don't think it was Canada. I've been happy in Canada, I've been sad in Canada, I've had all feelings, but I think what I'm living here is the best things of my life, the best days of my life.